Yeah, welcome back to the house where it's on news, celebrities, and hot topics. So listen, I want to go ahead and talk about this Funky Dineva and Carlos King interview. It was quite interesting. Listen, I'm going to give y'all the cliff notes, okay? So I'm going to just point out the things that I thought were interesting, and I'm going to show them to you guys. Overall, I would give this interview a 8 out of 10. I really did like it. This was one of Carlos King's better interviews. And I think a part of that was the relatability factor because, you know, it was a lot of talk about Funky Dineva's upbringing and, you know, how he was a gay black boy and his parents and how he came out and his original career before blogging and him being an accountant, him growing up in Florida, you know, his childhood, things like that, his traumas. It was just a really good interview. And so I do implore everybody to go watch it if you haven't already. I know a lot of people have seen it, but just in case you don't have an hour and 49 minutes to spare, listen, I listened to the entire 1 hour and 49 minutes and I, you know, clipped out the most messiest, pertinent, you know, parts. And I want to go ahead and play them for you. So we're going to do a lot of talking and watching and then talking because I don't want Carlos King and his Reality with the King production, Kingdom Reign, to come down on my parade. And also everything is on 1.5 speed because again, I don't need Kingdom Reign Entertainment to rain on my parade. Get it? Kingdom Reign. Haha. Okay. Anyways, so listen, I think the first clip I want to show you guys is Quentin, Funky Dineva's real name. And this has nothing to do with Armon, TGIF, Claudia Jordan, Armon Wiggins, Carlos King, nobody, but I just thought this was interesting and it caught my attention. He says that he 90% of the time sleeps with all of his friends, but did not sleep with Carlos King.
We have come such a long way.
No, and I want to say this to you before we get started. You know I love you. You and I are really friends.
Yes.
And we know so much about each other.
We do.
And we have never spilled each other's tea.
Or slept with each other. I normally sleep with all my friends. I do.
You do?
It's almost a criteria to be my friend.
You have slept with all your friends?
Just about. 9 times out of 10 if you see me. That's some exclusive tea.
Whoa. He said just about. What he say, 90%?
All your friends?
Just about. 9 times out of 10 if you see me. That's some
90%, 9 times out of 10. Whoa. Okay, so I just have a question. Listen, I don't mean to be messy. I don't mean to be messy about the situation, but this man, Funky, I have a question. Did you sleep with... Okay, tonight's show is going to be messy. Boost. Y'all know I'm normally not this messy. Y'all know I'm not messy. Okay, but I think, you know, this causes for me to be... Did you sleep with Al Reynolds? Is that why he felt so comfortable? Because you say y'all not that great of a friends. But he was so comfortable coming to you at his time of need while you was on live and you was trying to warn him, oh my God, I'm on live. Don't say too much. And he was like, I don't give a fuck. ASAP after this shit. No, I'm kidding. That has nothing to do with anything. But I just have a quick question. Did you sleep with Al? Did you sleep with him? Did you? Is that why for a point in time Claudia felt like the odd man out because y'all sleep with each other? How Phaedra say? Okay, let me stop. I'm getting crazy. But Funky, is that why you were protecting Al Reynolds this entire interview? And, you know, there may be some feelings there. And that's why you went in on Armon in this interview the way you did. Because y'all didn't. I mean, Al Reynolds is cute. So, I mean, Al Reynolds is cute. He's a kitty bar. So, all right. Anyways, let me stop being messy. I just thought that was interesting. Okay, let's see what else he got going on. Bye, Al Reynolds. Let's see what else he got going on. Let's see. I think in this clip...
way that you could get your written blog to make...
Okay, so this is where he was talking about the blogging, and we're not going to stay on the blogging, but of course, this was just a clip that I found to be really interesting. He basically recounted a time where, in my opinion, he participated in revenge porn. He says one of the reasons why he quit funkydineva.com, which was his blog, was because he did a story where somebody sent him, what's his name? Benzino. Okay, remember Benzino, Carly Red Benzino, Love and Hip Hop Benzino, Coil Ray Daddy Benzino, Source Magazine Benzino. Somebody sent him Benzino's news, and he actually ended up posting the news onto his website. And then he realized that what he had did was wrong, and it was dirty, and it was disgusting, and it was immature, and it was gross. It was immature. It was gross. It was unprofessional. All of the things that he said Armon was, okay, I guess he would know because he's done a lot of gross, unprofessional, and immature things in his career, like posting Benzino's nudes. And to me, that's kind of like revenge porn, because revenge porn, a lot of people think that there has to be the intent of revenge for it to be revenge porn. But the key component of revenge porn is the consent factor. If the person in the porn or in the news did not consent, it is, to me, that's revenge porn. Okay. Anyways, let's watch.
The turning point for me was somebody sent me Benzino's naked pictures. And I posted them. And then I was like, I don't feel, this just feels dirty. This, like, look at what you're doing. I mean, you're posting people's naked pictures in order to, I was like, nah, this shit, y'all can have this shit. And that's when I left it. I was like,
you mean to tell me that Sheree Whitfield sued you for standing outside her house and doing yo, my hair is late light report? But Benzino, did Benzino ever sue? Okay, if y'all know about this vintage tea, because at this point, this is very vintage. Okay, this is what, 10 years ago, 10, 11, 12. Did Benzino ever sue? Because if Sheree is suing because he stood outside of Chateau Sheree, if Michelle Atalian Brown sued because he and his dog soiled them carpets and them hardwood floors and took that washer and dryer allegedly, I would think that Benzino would sue for posting his porn. All right, so moving on. In this next clip, I believe he's talking about on a slow month, he makes about $38,000 onto the YouTube, and on a great month where he's actually trying and working, he makes about $50,000. Okay, Funky Dineva is rich. He's a rich bitch.
Back down there and reinstated it. I said, you're gonna grind this out. And I grinded it out, and then I just, I made $3,000, made $4,000, made $5,000. Now a bitch makes $50,000. But that's
you make $50,000 a month minimally on YouTube.
Currently, on average.
On average,
yeah, floats between if I actually like do work, 50. If I do nothing, if I just bare minimum, just wake up, brush my teeth, and just jump on the camera, about 35, 38.
Expedia.
Well, I guess it makes sense why he was so quick to leave, whatchamacallit, and it was obvious, but it makes sense why he was so quick to leave, TGIF and Fox Soul and Claudia Jordan and Al Reynolds. He left the Titanic before it sank because, his YouTube channel seems to be a gold mine. It seems to be a gold mine. Like, why would I sit up here with the infighting? Why would I sit up here and be denied health insurance? And we'll talk about that in just a second. When I can go over to my YouTube channel and make twice as much. Okay. Let's see. What is this next clip? Let's see.
She's beautiful.
She is. Yeah. I would like to see Armon mature.
Okay. Whoa. Okay. So listen, this is where it gets super, super messy, because why does it feel to me, and I don't know if it's because Funky Dineva knows Claudia and Al Reynolds, he has a real relationship with them, I guess. Coupled in with the fact that Armon did do the roast and things like that. But like, there was no real accountability. Not accountability, I don't think that's the word. There was no really criticism of Al Reynolds. There was no real criticism of Claudia Jordan. The brunt of the criticism as far as TGIF is concerned was on Armon Wiggins. Okay, again, this is the part where he's calling Armon immature.
A little bit so he can really get everything that the universe.
She's beautiful.
She is. I would like to see Armon mature a little bit so he can really get everything that the universe has for him. And I'll say it on camera because I'll say it to his face. Armon, you do need to grow up a little bit. You need to grow up a lot of bit. And I think once he grows up a little bit and matures, I think that the universe is definitely going to.
Okay, wait, he's been meaning to say that. You have been meaning to say that. That's been on your heart. That's been in your heart and on your mind. That's been on top of your brain. He said, let me look at the camera because I'll say it to Armon's face. You need to grow up a little bit. And then he said, oh no, you need to mature a lot of bit. He changed it from a little bit to a lot of bit. Did y'all catch that?
And I'll say it on camera because I'll say it to his face. Armon, you do need to grow up a little bit. You need to grow up a lot of bit. And I think once he grows up a little bit and matures, I think that the universe is definitely going to open up and give.
Mind you, I heard the way he was carrying on about Chloe Bailey and Blue Ivy and all of those other Parkwood girlies, that Yvette, Beyonce's publicist, was calling up there at the Fox. So pissed. Okay, now listen, you were out there carrying on. My hair is like whatever, right? Carrying on with the wigs and stuff like that, doing drag, nothing wrong with that, whatever. And then you did your blog. You did your big one with the blog. Michelle taught you how to do the blog. Shout out to Michelle Etienne Brown. You know, you was in Atlanta in the townhouse downtown with the washer and the dryer that we still don't know where's that, child. You know what I mean? But you was doing your big one with the blog, and then you the alleged revenge porn and, you know, all of those things. Granted, all of those things, you know, is a decade old, right? Wasn't that like 10 years ago? Like, this is vintage. Oh, these are OGs. These are veterans. These people they've been doing this for a long time. And so he's been around for a long time. He's had time to mature, right? So Funky Dineva would know a lot about maturing in the industry and evolving in the industry. He knows a lot about that, right? So he knows what he's talking about. Except for the fact that I found it very immature that this time last year he called Chloe Bailey ugly. And could not understand for the life of him why people would feel a ways about that. I guarantee you whatever Chloe Bailey said on her live on whatever random day of the week that was last year did not warrant her being called ugly onto the Fox Soul with you and Claudia and Al. I mean, I'm just saying, I don't think that was mature, Funky. Okay? I don't think that was mature, but y'all let me know how y'all feel about the situation in the comments down below. It seems like we all have a lot of maturing to do, right?
Give him all the things that he deserves.
Why do you think he needs to grow up? In what aspect? Have you seen him say that?
Just from like a you know, just from like an older person once being young. You know what I'm saying? It's just not one.
Okay, so Funky Dineva is allegedly 40. Armon Wiggins is allegedly 36. It's not an age thing. You just think that he's immature. Okay. Moving right along. Let's see what else he talking about. I think he's about to get into why Claudia and Al Reynolds had an issue. I think that's the next clip.
Ask first before Armon.
Yes.
Oh no, he's talking about how T.S. Madison was asked to fill in for Funky, to replace Funky onto Fox Soul. He talks about that, but he says that there was like a scheduling conflict and that the money wasn't right, so they ended up going with their second option, which would have been Armon Wiggins. And he claims that he was a fan of Armon, that he was rooting for Armon, that he says that if they were going to go with a YouTuber to fill his shoes, that Armon was the right choice, so he was rooting for him.
My understanding, yes, she was, or whatever. And it scheduled conflict and the money wasn't right.
Okay.
So she turned it down.
Why were you so unhappy at TGIF? Because from the outside looking in, because we've known each other for almost 20 years, I know my...
Okay, this is where Carlos King does a lot of talking. I told y'all I'm going to be talking and watching and talking and watching and skipping and skipping and skipping. Okay, so basically in a nutshell, the reason why Funky Dineva was, unhappy with TGIF is the fact that two reasons. The infighting between Al and Claudia, number one. Number two, the money. He wanted more money. At one point in time, they were like 3 days a week making a certain amount of money. And then at another point in time, they went to, I guess, and I don't know the exact numbers, but I'm paraphrasing, right? They went from like 3 days a week making a certain amount to 5 days a week, but making less. So the rate was less, but they got more hours. So I guess in the head of Fox Souls, they were thinking, well, you're working more, therefore you're being paid more, but the rate was a little bit less, like $250 less an episode or a week. I don't know how they did that. Right. And so in the grand scheme of things, when it was time, this last time, when it was time to renew the contract, he wanted his $250 back, which would have been $60,000 annually. He wanted that money back, or he wanted health insurance, and Fox Soul said no, which caused him to ultimately want to leave the show.
But why were you so unhappy? Because I thought it was like, this is a good gig.
The infighting and the just every damn day you came to work, it was fucking something. It's like, bitch, we only got to be on this shit for an hour and a half. I'm just not understanding why a motherfucker cannot just read the goddamn topics, come to work, do what we need to do, log the fuck out, and that just be that. You know what I'm saying?
Y'all, did I not say the same thing? First off, y'all are all 40 plus. How old is Claudia? 50. How old is Al? Al about 52. How old is Al? Y'all is too old. Y'all is old. 56. Al Reynolds is 60. If we're rounding to the nearest 10. Everybody, if we're rounding to the nearest 10, everybody is 40 and up. Nobody lives in the same city. Al Reynolds, part-time in LA. Right, and Armon Wiggins is in LA, but nobody's really in the same city. Okay, Funky was in Miami. Claudia in Texas. Dallas, Houston, one of those. Austin, El Paso, Waco. We don't know. Completely different cities. All grown-ass people making 6 figures to hop on a Zoom for 1 hour a day. Y'all don't even have to go into the office. Y'all don't even go into a studio and see each other's faces. How do y'all get under each other's skin that much so when it's virtual on Zoom? It's a virtual meeting. I'm just a bit confused at the situation. Did I not say that, y'all?
Okay. And then the last piece was just the negotiation piece. How is it last week my value was $7? You like me. We're bringing the company in more money. You want to promote me, but you want to cut my pay.
Now he's talking about the health insurance. He was denied the health insurance. He was basically like, if y'all not going to give me the extra $60,000 a year, can you at least put me on the Fox health insurance, right? And they basically said, no, girl, you are 1099. 1099, you is 1099. You is not W-2. Wait, is it W-2 or W-9? I think it's W-2. You are not W-2. You are 1099. Okay? We give the girlies over there at Fox News health insurance. We give the girlies over there at Tubi health insurance. We give our Fox affiliate local stations health insurance. You 1099 employees over there at the or independent contractors over there at the Foxhole, the Black Virtual Network. Okay. No health insurance for you, bitch.
Not asking for additional money. I wasn't asking for extra money. I was asking for what you had already been paying me. You know what I'm saying? I was asking for, you know, the $250 an episode that you took away from me. And mind you, y'all, if I'm being honest, the deal fell apart over $250.
$250.
They cut us to $1,000. I just wanted the $250 back, which at the end of the year across the contract would have been $60,000 in total. You know what I'm saying? It across the episode. And so then it was one of those things where it was like, okay, if you can't give him the $250, you know, can you at least put him on the health insurance? And the people wouldn't even put me on the health insurance.
All right, so they denied him the health insurance. So now, this is why he left. He left because of the infighting, and then they denied him the extra $60K and the health insurance, right? Okay. Then he didn't really go in detail about Claudia and Al, but he did recount the story about how Al was talking shit about Jordan to Lenny Leaks, formerly of the Real Housewives of Atlanta.
Got a screenshot of a text message from Al. And in the text message, he had said, and I'm only speaking about this because she's made it be known because I don't want to be in nobody's mess. She got a screenshot from Al where he had said something unfavorable about her to Nene Leaks. Okay. And it got back, you know, Claudia saw it, and that at that time had created a big shitstorm. And we got through it. So I thought.
Because everybody's bringing it up now. Okay. Moving on. I think this is where he goes back to Armon. I believe they're talking about the roast. He calls it gross. He says that it was unprofessional and says that Armon Wiggins is immature. Interesting things. Oh, and that a battery was put in his back.
When you saw Armon's roast to Al.
And y'all, I got some shit to say about this.
What was your first thought?
A battery was put in his back.
Whoa.
A battery was put in his back. These are my thoughts. Can't prove it. I thought a battery was put in his back. I thought it was deeply personal. I thought it was extremely unprofessional. I thought it was completely I thought it was gross. Obviously, in having had work there, a lot of the things that he was saying, he had not even been there long enough to experience or even know what the fuck he was talking about.
Okay, so one, you are invalidating his experience. One, you're invalidating his experience. Two, you're invalidating his knowledge. Three, you're invalidating his time, his few months that he was there. If you're somewhere for 3 months, 4 months working with people, I would think that you can come up with a pretty good, opinion about your time with these folks, working with these folks. So for him to invalidate Armon's experience or his opinion or his knowledge of what he knows about the people that he's working with, meanwhile, you're over here competing with their time slot, I just kind of feel like it's whack. I feel like that's whack. Like, you don't know what he knows. You don't know what he experienced, and you don't know what he has heard and what he saw. Okay? So that's the first thing. The second thing is he says this multiple times that Armon Wiggins had a battery put in his back, that somebody put a battery in his back. And he's basically alluding to the fact that I guess he thinks that Claudia set Armon up to say those things on the roast because she has this qualm with Al Reynolds. I think that's very interesting. I think that's ironic. I think it's very rich that he's saying that, because in this very same interview, he says that when he left and when Armon got hired, that he basically was mentoring Armon, coaching him on how to be successful onto the show, telling him who he can trust, who he cannot trust, who he doesn't need to open up to, who he don't need to be friends with, to watch out for this person, that this person is cool, but you need to watch out for this one. And at this particular point in time, we all know, right, that Claudia did not want homeboy onto the show, Armon Wiggins onto the show. And guess how he found out about that? Funky Dineva. And so when Armon Wiggins came onto the show, when he got hired, guess who wasn't cool? Guess who didn't get along? Miss Jordan and Mr. Wiggins. A part of that, why did that happen? Is because Funky Dineva told Armon Wiggins to watch out for Claudia. She doesn't want you here. Don't trust her. Don't be cool with her. So if you are going to be saying that people are putting batteries in Armon's back, you are one of the battery packers. You need to be saying that you're one of the battery packers, babe. You're one of the battery packers. The reason why Armon and Claudia Jordan did not get along is because Funky Dineva sowed that seed when he was coaching Armon on who to trust and who not to trust when he left the show and Armon got hired onto the show. You're one of the battery packers, babe.
Okay, and it's just the things that were coming out of his mouth had trappings of somebody gave him this information. He simply had not been there long enough.
And you were one of the people that gave him the information. You told on yourself in the interview. I mean, I'm just saying, I feel like a lot of y'all are not going to agree with me, but if you listen to the interview, you will know that he said that he coached him up on who to trust, who not to trust, and what to do and how to be successful. You'll hear a little bit of it here.
And going back to our earlier conversation when I was talking about the maturity piece, that's the thing right there. Like I laid out for Armon everything he needed to do to be successful at that show.
Okay, he started to say it right there. I don't think I caught him saying the whole piece, but he started to say, I laid it all out. I coached him. We went to brunch and I told him what to do and what to say and who to trust.
Way to not have you here. Told him who the people were and everything. And then I told him everything he needed to do to be successful there.
He was just saying right here that there were people on set who didn't want him there and watch out for those people. Okay, so you were sowing seeds. In his head, he's probably thinking, I'm putting him on game. I'm helping him. I'm mentoring him. I'm guiding him. Right? But you're guiding him on who he needs to watch out for. Is that not putting a battery in somebody's... I mean, am I tripping? Y'all let me know. Am I crazy?
And you went up there and drank the Kool-Aid and got lost in the sauce and did the complete opposite. And if I'm being honest, was a major contributing factor as far as I can see as to why the shit got canceled.
Okay, next clip.
To your job and do that. A mature person who was looking at the future of the collective, the show.
He's calling him immature again.
And the energy of three people who have to get along, a mature person would have never done that. There was no bouncing back from what was said to Al in that roast.
It was not that deep. Girl, bye. I'm sorry, but... Y'all remember what he said in the roast? This is the premise. This is the paraphrasing Cliff Notes version. Al is messy. He's friends with producers. He starts drama behind the scenes. Ooh. You don't have to be at Fox Soul for a year to pick that up, Funky. You don't have to be at Fox Soul for a year to know that you're not allowed to bring up Star Jones in the way that Lunel did. You don't have to be around somebody for a year to understand that they're messy. You don't have to be around for a year to understand the dynamics of a working environment, of a toxic work environment, seeming as though you did coach him on the very toxic working environment. Did you not, per your own words? He says, all he said was the man is messy and starts drama. Why? He was there for a few months as far as I'm concerned. Maybe I don't know, counting it wrong, but after being somewhere for a month, you can pretty much see, okay, this bitch is messy. This one likes to start drama. This one is cool with this producer. I don't get it. Why would you have to be there for 6, 7, 8, 9 months to pick stuff like that up? I'm sure on his first day on the job, they said, don't bring this up. Don't bring up Star Jones. And then again, you gave him the rundown of everything that was happening behind the scenes as far as y'all's toxic work environment is concerned. So why wouldn't he know everything that was going on? And then on top of that, it simply was not that deep. He didn't expose any deep, dark secret. You know, and honestly, Fox Soul producers are dumb as hell for not capitalizing off of the situation. Ratings were down, and this was the opportunity to have ratings up. Every other YouTuber made a check, including me, talking about that shit. And Fox Soul made 0 because some genius thought it was a great idea to go to hiatus when TGIF was being talked about the most. That was stupid. That was idiotic. That wasn't smart. When there's a fight that pops out on to The View, they get on screen after the commercial break and explain to the people what happened and exchange their apologies. Or they get on screen the next day and say what they have to say. Because Brian, their executive producer, knows 1 or 2 things about ratings. I don't know who's over there at the Fox Soul, but they totally fumbled that.
Who can't use an extra $250,000?
Baby, I don't care what you
know,
make.
So I just feel like it was a dumb reason. And honestly and truthfully, I feel like the person that lost the most in the situation was Armon, because he had the most to gain from it.
Y'all let me know. It was a really great interview. Go watch, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to create a great day. Bye.